Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's had a great wonderful day or having a great wonderful day. Good morning to you too. So today I'm going to bring you along with another thing that it looks really good up here. A couple ideas. So I'm trying to upcycle stuff I've got laying around the house. I've only had to actually technically go buy a couple things, but this is just stuff I've had laid around from other things that got messed up. Stuff that I got, these were like some type of a shipping kind of sturdy pallet. It had some little boards that came up through it. I beat them all off and everything.
That took a while.
Yeah, and then I beat apart more of these so I could use all these 2x6s that I'm gonna rip in half to make them stretch to use for the idea of, wait for it, no, okay. Like some different idea of movable little chicken, duck, turkey, little houses. You know, they still have to be in fenced in areas, but with the ideas I've got, it's kind of like a hybrid tractor house.
Yeah, a tractor coop. It's a tractor coop.
Tractor coop.
So it's going to act as a coop, and it's going to be portable and movable like a chicken tractor.
Yeah.
Or in this case, turkey tractor, duck tractor.
Yeah. And I've got the idea up here with another thing I got, with coupon of course, that'll hopefully make it real easy to do. We're going to find out though.
And if you're like us, you have stuff laying around your property that you can upcycle. So you might not have something exact like this, but you might have something that maybe this sparks an idea with you.
Yeah, so let's see if it can come from here to here. We'll find out. So let's get to it. All right. I get to play with a new tool that I haven't even got to use yet.
You've had it for...
I've had it for a while. I got it.
A long time.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. When you find a good sale on it with a good coupon and everything else, you know me, coupons, save money. What I'm going to do is, this is going to be, of course, the bottom of the tractor coop. Is that what we're going to call it? Tractor coop, sure. So I'm going to put a 1/2 inch notch through a couple of these boards, and maybe you can guess why. We're going to see. All right, let's see if we can get this even semi-straight. All right, 1/2 inch rebar. All right, so I've got a piece of 1/2 inch rebar, and I had to go buy this. I didn't have this laying around. But what, that 1/2 inch, I don't know, it was like $8, $10, something like that. I don't know. I got these little wheels over at Harbor Freight. Got it with coupon, 30% off. I don't know, they were like $8 wheels normally, I think. But they're a 1/2 inch. Or there are 5/8 actually, so there's a little playroom. There's no bearing in these, but they say they're supposed to take up to 1,100 pounds, and it's a solid tire. So my idea of making this mobile. So that's why I cut the 1/2 inch notch, because then that can sit in there, that can sit in there, and it should be strong enough to hold up all the weight. So now, all I'm going to do is get that centered, because this is a total from edge to edge was 11 inches. So there's 3 inches on that side, 3 inches. Man, look at that eyeballing. Put that little wheel dips in a little bit. That's about a 1/4 inch. Yeah, about a 1/4 inch goes in, so I need something 3 1/4. Some old 1/2 inch PVC laying around that I use this for, I think, part of that old greenhouse we used to have. So I can get enough to go into here and to go up against here to keep that wheel centered. Looks like it's going to be about 3 1/4-ish. We'll see. Now, stick one on one side, put the tire in the other, put that one on that way. That way, that gives me that spacer to hopefully go in between. Alright. Alright, now that'll be sitting down. That should stay there with no problem.
Bottom.
And that, because that's the bottom. I could probably cover it up with a little piece of wood here or something. But all the weight's always going to be down on it, so we should be good. That's what I'm going to go with.
Why do I get the dirty side?
You can clean that side again. Pick it up, take it this way, set it down.
Oh.
Look at there, the working girl. See now, tires are below. There you go. Plenty of room. All right. Okay, so now I've got some upcycled 1/2 inch, yeah, 1/2 inch hardware cloth.
This is from one of our rabbit cages before we did our new rabbit condominium.
And it came from the one that Steve decided he really wanted some of the rabbit feed, and he could get his head into the rabbit coop enough to grab and beat around the rabbit cages. Yeah, I came home one day and I had rabbit cages that were at an angle. I was not happy.
No. So
he bent the crud out of that one.
out of the,
But all the rabbits were safe.
and the bottom wasn't completely destroyed. So we just took this hardware cloth off of those cages and we're upcycling it for, what are we calling it again?
Our
Tractor coop.
tractor coop. The reason why it's going to be a tractor coop is because I'm going to have this open for summertime use. That way when the chickens go inside and they go poop, it'll go through as they walk on this and everything. And 1/2 inch should be definitely big enough or small enough for their feet. That way they'll poop all underneath this, and we can just pull that little coop up. And that way we're getting,
And anything in here, we can just clean it out.
yeah.
And then we'll move them to a new spot.
And then if we use them throughout the winter, I think we can slide something in here to throw shavings down to keep them warmer. Got our wire all on there, which is nice. Our little wheel, keep it off the ground. I had some little cut off pieces of these 2x6s. That's a ripped off piece, and then, you know, a little piece to go. I'm gonna make a couple of little legs to go on the front so it'll sit pretty level, be off the ground, and be able to get up underneath it maybe later to be able to pick it up with hopefully something I've got that'll work to move it around. So I'm just going to put a couple of legs on here. That way when it sits down, it'll be pretty level. Okie doke. Now, since I'm going to run them skinny like this, I'm not attaching them down below. I'm going to have them kind of sit on top of that whole edge so I can just have a flat side. Use the old Craig jig. Love this little thing. Pretty nice. I think Harbor Freight actually makes like a cheapo version of it too. I don't know. But I'm just going to run it. You just stick it in there. Clamp it on that side. You got to have your settings. This is 1.5 inches, so you got to set it to 1.5. You got to set your drill bit. You got a little guide on the side of this thing to set it to 1.5 as well. And you just drill in. It's got to stop on it when you set it. And it puts a nice little angled hole in there. And I'll tell you, these things really hold well. I'm just going to put one on each side because it should hold real well that way. Now the only thing with that Craig jig is normally you got to get some little special screws, but I guess you just can't use regular screws. You need to use a screw that's got that flat. You know, it really can't be the kind that dig into the wood.
Put it on my hand.
It's got to be, you know, flat. And the Craig jig ones, they use a square head tool. But as long as you got some kind of screws that were long enough and got that little flat head, shouldn't really worry. Now I'm going to put this one along the back, the wider width here instead of using the skinnier width, because that way I can attach hinges to this, because I'm thinking about making just a big door in the back to be able to get into and clean and get to everything. So, and you'd think that these things don't hold that well, but they're pretty sturdy, which is nice. That holds good just with 2 screws in it. Try to center it in the middle of that line. Alright. Of course, I like to do the easy way. I can't figure out angles. I just cheat and mark it on the other side. There we go. Alrighty. Alright, making my little door, which hopefully should be enough room. This first one I'm making is going to be for the turkeys. I'm going to make it a little big. We did 10 inches across, 12 inches high. Doing pretty good.
I know it looks small, but it's just 2 turkeys.
Yeah, this design also we're doing, and you can see, I mean, I'm shaking the crud out of that thing, and that's just using, technically, like I said, I should be putting 2 in this width of board, which is what, 2 and 2.5, 2 3/4. So I should be putting 2, but I've only got 1 on one side, 1 on the opposite side. And that thing is holding pretty good, and I don't even have, you know, the walls up yet. So a little Craig jig works pretty good to be able to take your flat board and meet it up, especially when you're going with 2 flats, you know, because you try to angle nail or angle screw, it always kind of splits your wood and stuff. This way you're not getting any splits in your wood, and it holds together real well. Of course, we are leaning back a little bit on it.
It's fine.
But that's just because I'm trying to use all the wood we got here
For free.
And the top is basically about a 1/2 inch. The board's too short. And probably what I should have done is, now that I'm looking at it, but Shauna said we're not going to tear it apart.
Shauna said, why don't you take it apart?
I should take this front board and turned it this way, that would have gave me that extra length I needed with width. The back, I did it that way because I wanted to attach some hinges to the back to make that open a big door in the back to be able to get in to clean to it.
But you'll see.
So it's working out though okay so far. So all right, now how level does that look?
Ish. I would. Yeah.
All right there.
Down.
Huh?
Down. Sure.
Grab that nail gun and a couple there. Try this at home.
These are just some limbs that we took off of that oak tree that we still haven't finished cutting up. But they'll make the perfect roost. We're not trying to do anything fancy. We've just got something for them to rest on so we can nail it so that they're stationary.
And we're upcycling the tree.
That's right.
Alright, so this is some wood also that I got from work. They'd shaved off.
Well, we've used that before
Yeah.
in the food prep room.
Oh yeah, it's the same stuff I use in the food prep room. Yeah. Another upcycle.
We didn't take apart the food prep room.
No.
This is just, we just have more.
Yeah. I'm going to put a little bit of hardware cloth because I've got something extra just laying around. That way I can give it a little bit of airflow through the bottom and through these top edges.
Leftovers.
Yep, my board's going to come to about right there. And then that way I can, that way I'll give that much airflow coming up here right now. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing. And you can see that now after putting just 3 walls on, because I've still got the back door to put on, don't even have the roof on, that thing is still sturdy just with the one Cricut jig screw on one side and the other.
And it seems like it's going to be really heavy.
And
It is a Coop, but it's a mobile Coop, so that's what the wheels are for.
So 2x3-ish, well, 2.5 by 1.5 boards, you know, so.
It is going to be heavy. But we got this.
Should work out pretty good.
You'll see.
Move the little building, or move the little
Coop tractor.
Coop tractor. I did tack on a couple, these are spare pieces of wood that I had left over from the cutouts that I did from the sides here and everything. I just tacked them across the top. It's actually split down the middle actually.
Just to give us some stability.
Just give the roof some stability, and I can't talk real well right now because as you can see this is not my usual coffee cup because my wife decided that she didn't want me drinking out of my good coffee cup anymore, so she decided to trip over a piece of metal and bust my coffee cup. Can you believe that?
In my
Man.
defense,
She never pulled that piece of metal up out of the ground.
I asked him to pull that piece of metal out of the ground and he couldn't get it. And so he bent it over and said, oh, I'll bring the grinder out and cut it off one day. One day hasn't happened yet, and
It's not one day yet. One day is not another 3 or 4 weeks from now. So my thinking process isn't as good because, you know, it's not quite as thinking, you know, the quality of it is now because it's the same cup that she drinks out of, and well, now I'm starting to think like her.
Give me the tar paper.
We got one. Let me go ahead and just get this tacked up here, and all I'm doing is I'm just putting the tar paper up here just as a extra assurance, and just, you know, stapling it up, you know, type thing. had a good, or it seems like it's a good one up here. I took 2 pieces of this, the siding, cut me some strips of the cutoffs of this pieces that I cut for this length. I made this, and this was left over from another cut, so this is like 33 inches, so it's got some decent length to it, I think. Not bad. Okay, so I've got, it's like a cabinet door hinge, and I'm gonna attach it to this. Alright, we're just gonna attach that right to the bottom, and then they can close up. We've got a little bit of a space down here, a little bit more than what I was wanting, though, but
should we do 2 hinges?
okay. As I was saying, we've moved locations. Using these cabinet door hinges did not work out as well as I wanted it to outside. Trying to give good support, so what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up using 2. These came off of cabinet doors that we took out, and so this is the bottom side. That's the side that'll mount to the coop, and then it'll bend up. So one thing I did notice is bend your hinge around, and that way you can see how it's gonna sit there. That way you know it's enough space, because if you put it up flush all the way against the edge, it's going to be up an angle. So bend it around to where you can see it's going to be flat, so that, because that's what I want is flat, and we will screw it in that way. And still on there pretty sturdy. So, all right, round 2. All right. Well, it worked the way I want it to. Ta-da!
Yay.
So that goes up, closes up our door for the night. Let the door open. Voila. All right. Gonna make the back entrance a full door, so it's easy for us to get in there and clean, pull things out, do whatever we need to do. Probably gonna end up putting some nest boxes on these corners. I Craig jigged this as well, and since this is my door, I want it to be, you know, good and sturdy. As you can see, it is.
That's sturdy.
This one I did 2 on one side, 1 on the other, and I did them opposite. So we've got 2 here, 1 there, 2 there, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Recycled hinges we got off of some old doors. Set that baby in there. Alright, now on my boards on the outside, I've got them to overlap to go to this side, and to go to the edge of my door on this side. Okie dokie. Alright, well, we're kind of wrapping this up for y'all on a couple things. So we got a nice little ramp to go in and pick it up at nighttime. Just a simple block over that way. That way, I don't think no raccoon's going to climb all the way up here and try to turn this thing on. We did the same idea, just do that. I used a little screw-in eye bolt to open for the door. And of course, then, you know, we've got our natural wood branch roosts. nice and flow through for all the droppings. Close it up. And then these are these rubber mats. Shauna was thinking about, hey, we've got all those rubber mats laying all over the place. Why not use them? I haven't attached them yet because got to clean them, get all the dirt off of them. And I'll just staple them down. They're overlapped. I'll probably come back with maybe a little bit of tar is what I'm probably going to end up doing. Putting it on the underneath and smushing them down to kind of seal up any of those little cracks right here. The crack we'll have here. But we've got the tar paper underneath there too. So that's going to help out at first. I think it'll work out pretty good that way. So, sorry, didn't show you the all the way stapled down on these, but that's what that'll look. But yeah, they had these things laying around all over the place. And we got our ventilation still. That's always important to have a little bit of ventilation coming through. And that way it's less of an angle cut I got to make, Darren. So that works there too. And then the idea I got, mainly because I had a coupon and I could get a little cheaper than normal. I think we paid $52 with tax, I think, with the coupon. So the idea is to have it to move easily. Now technically I can still pick this up pretty easy with those 2 tires on the back.
If you put 2 handles right here on the front, you can probably just pick it up.
And so here's an idea for you if you're thinking about doing it that way. You could put you a handle right here on both sides, and if you've got a lovely assistant like I do that sometimes will help me, you could just grab it and take it where you need to. But I thought it was something pretty neat, and you know, I can use it for other things too. I got this makeshift piece of metal hook. So I'm definitely going to need ideas out there for this, for sure. But that's designed to just hook right up underneath the bottom down here. So I got to come up with a better idea for this, because I went and got one of these trailer dollies. Supposed to do up to like 600 pounds or something like that. So my idea was that I could just hook it like so, and then just bend it back, picks it up that decent amount you need to easily just one person do it. I've just got to work on, I can do it straight. So if anybody's got any ideas to thinking on a way to make this a different way to where I can get a little bit more length, because you can see I can't really turn. So I need a little more length, but to somehow also still do it. I'm not still sure on that idea yet, but I just got the nice idea so that I could just pick it up and pull it forward with no problem. And it'll push backwards. So I think we're going to throw the turkeys in this one first.
Yeah.
They should like it. So if you've got anything else that you'd like to add or ask me or anything like that, just, leave those all down below. I sure do appreciate it. Hope you like coming along for this one. And you'll have a great, wonderful one. Can't wait to see y'all till next time. Later.